Welcome back to Rockin' Bear for the 5th week this season. Man, there's been some nail biters, there's been some good games, there's been some ups and been some downs. Let's go ahead and start this week off with probably one of the best games of the week. Tom Brady, 5-touchdown Tom, headed to Chicago. Chicago, their D's looking good, their offense sucks. I don't think they have any answers for Tom and company. I think Tom's going to kind of keep the momentum that he had late in the game last week. Rock, what do you think?
Not so fast. This is my favorite game of the week and probably going to be an upset. And here's the reason why. Here's the reason why. Tampa Bay, number one. Evans is probably not playing. Fournette's out. Big deal. But the reason the Bears lost last week, number one, Indy's got the best defense. Of course, they played nobody. Just look at the schedule. They played nobodies. But Pagano was Nick Foles' quarterback coach at Philly when they won the Super Bowl. So he knew Foles really well. All right? Now, I watched the Tampa game because, fortunately, I took a half a point and won a bunch of money at 6.5. Brady was throwing knuckleballs. Brady's 43 years old. He's not Tom Brady. I'm going to take the Bears to win this one outright and certainly cover the spread.
Alrighty. Underdog. Speaking about dogs, Teddy Bridgewater, the underdog last week, looked really impressive. He found a nice rhythm. Atlanta, I think they're probably the best team that's 0-4. A lot of their games have been given away at the end. They've had some flukes. I think Atlanta's going to get this game. Get that 1 point. It's going to be close. It should be a great game. I think Atlanta's going to get the dub. Rock, what do you think?
Not so fast. Once again, Teddy's 2-0 against Atlanta. And they've won their last two games. I'm sorry. I just think that, Teddy Bridgewater has found the rhythm. No, they don't have their big stud. One's retired, the other one's injured. But Teddy Bridgewater has beaten these guys twice. He's going to do it again.
All right, 3P Teddy. We'll see. We got the Rams headed to Washington. The Rams, their offense, they should bounce back. Their defense is tough. They're not premier, but they're tough as nails. Washington, they're starting Kyle Allen. I think that's going to be a big test for them.
Undrafted.
Yeah, there's going to be a big test for them. Going against the Rams defense has been pretty stingy this season. I think the Sevens may be close, maybe 10 points. Rock, Rams, my pick. What do you think?
Riverboat Rhymes. Doing the quarterback that's never been drafted. What the heck? Okay, let's see what he's got. Now, keep in mind, the Rams have beaten the Giants, Philly, and Dallas. The NFC least. 5 wins among those 3 teams. Now they're playing another NFC East team. The spread's 9. West Coast, East Coast. Is there any truth to that? I'm going to say there is. They're going to cover the 9, but it's going to be closer than 9.
All right, so we agree it might be close. Jacksonville, I think they're ready for a breakout game. Houston, they found a rhythm late against Minnesota, but it wasn't enough. I think Jacksonville and Minshew are going to finally snap that cold streak. They're going to break that 2-week losing streak and get back to over 500 Rock over Houston, who I think is going to go 0-5. What do you think?
Well, Jacksonville's lost to Cincinnati, Miami, and Tennessee. Okay? Tennessee's not as good as we think, as we'll talk about later. Has Houston thrown the towel in? Who's our general manager? Who's this? Who's that?
Elmore O'Brien, new coach. That's interim coach.
That's 6.5 points. Minshew has not been what we thought he would be, but I'm going to take the 6.5. Houston's going to win barely.
Minshew, I think he's not getting enough credit. I think he didn't have his best game against Miami, but he got better last week. I think he's going to get better this week.
But wait.
I think he has a chance to get better, too, because Houston is last in run defense, and their pass defense is bottom of the barrel. So.
And Houston lost to Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Kansas City. Not Pittsburgh, Houston lost to those 3 good teams. Okay. So they're due for a win. I'm changing my mind. I'm taking Houston to cover.
All right. They also lost to Minnesota, who hasn't been they've been a shell of their former self. So
yeah.
Their accolades aren't that great. But let's move on. The next game we have Arizona Cardinals, so I think are also going to kind of shake off their cold streak against the Jets. Joe Flacco. Take them Jets. I'm going to call them the Tanks because I think they're the worst team in the NFL this season. I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals to go ahead and win back in a convincing manner to get back on the right rhythm. Rock, what do you think?
Well, the Giants are 0-4, and they might be cashing in the chips. you would like to think that they wouldn't be. Their losses have been with Denver, Indy, San Francisco, and Buffalo. So they're not really that bad, but they've given up the most points. And Teddy Bridgewater, they've beaten. Arizona lost to Carolina and Detroit, which aren't what you would consider quality teams at this time.
Sure,
so
that's fair.
I would, boy, with the Jets at home, they're so overdue. These 0-4 teams, I'm going to take the Jets with the 6.5. And will Arizona cover? No.
I think the Jets are going to win by. I mean, Arizona's going to win by 14, so we're quite different on that one.
Hey, and don't worry, that's not what I'm betting.
All right, battle at the Pen. We have Philly going to see Pittsburgh. Philly's been sacked they have actually. Excuse me, they have made 17 sacks. So I think Big Ben is going to either have a big show or a big bust. I'm hoping for a big show. I think they're going to win this game. Philly there are too many question marks on offense. They got their guys back, but they're just still, I don't think they can keep up with Ben when he's on a rhythm. I'm taking Pittsburgh to win this game, Rock. What do you think?
Well, Pittsburgh's 3-0, and they had a week off.
Yep.
So that, Big Ben didn't like that. He said, we're hot now, and I don't like sitting down a week. Mm-hmm. But because there's no fans, home field doesn't really mean much. Do I think Philly's going to win? No, I think Wentz stinks. I think him and Kirk Cousins should still give the money back. And I think Philly will cover that 7 points. I'm sorry, Pittsburgh will cover that 7 points and might probably win by 10.
Right, win and cover. We both think Big Ben's going to put on a big show. Another big show, Las Vegas, is the Raiders are heading to Kansas City. Kansas City, they're not looking unstoppable. They're looking good. Vegas, the Raiders have shown glimpses of greatness. Josh Jacobs has looked really good. Derek Carr, when he's on. That tight end is really impressive. I think this is a chance to Kansas City they might be sleeping on the Raiders, but I'm taking them to win at home. They should.
Are they going to cover 12?
The 12's pretty big. I don't know. That's my question mark. It might be a touchdown game,
here we
maybe
go.
a 10-point game.
Here we go.
I like Kansas City, but I'll take the points with the Vegas.
All right.
What do you think?
Vegas has lost to Buffalo and New England. All right. I love John Gruden's coaching, his 7 rookies, and Kansas City. Mahomes didn't look like himself at home. And he's at home again. But their defense wasn't so good against the rush. And, Josh Jacobs. And I think Gruden's a better coach. I'm picking him to cover the 12.5, but lose by 3.
All right,
so I'm taking Kansas City to win but not cover.
Gotcha.
For all you that bet.
So we're on the same page here. Win but not cover. Maybe a touchdown. All right. Another team I think is going to win is going to be the Bills seeing the Titans. This should be an interesting game if we see it. I think Bills Mafia is looking strong. Titans are looking beat up. They're bad at stopping the run, and I think this gives Singletary a chance to break out. Josh Allen looks really good this season. 12 touchdowns, only 1 interception, which is twice as many touchdowns as Tannehill has so far. So I think Bills Mafia is going to keep running the tables with Titans. Rock, what do you think?
Well, Tennessee has 9 guys that when you look at the injury list, out because of illness. Obviously, that's COVID, which... and then they had one more today. Tenny's pretty good. I don't know what the line is because they won't post it. We don't even know if there's going to be a game.
Right.
But certainly, Tennessee...
If there's a game.
Tennessee's probably going to go down. I don't know if they're going to cover because we don't know what the line is. But I'm going with whoever they're playing.
I think Bills will win by a touchdown if we see
Buffalo.
If we see
Hell
a game.
yes.
Yeah.
Buffalo is... Hey, Buffalo's going to give... They're going to win and give Baltimore all they want. Should Baltimore even keep on jiving? And
Okay.
We'll talk about the Super Bowl in a couple weeks.
Bills deep playoff run.
Yes.
I like it. I think we talked about that week 1.
Yes, we did.
And another team I think has got great momentum is Cincinnati. Burrow down, baby. Baltimore, they're back to business, but I think they're up and they're down. I think Cincinnati, they had a good-looking run game last week. Mixon finally broke out 160 yards, 5 a carry. Joe Burrows is looking great through the air. A lot of yards, not a lot of touchdowns. I think he might get 3 touchdowns and surprise Baltimore. I think Baltimore is going to win, but this might be a one-score game. So, Rock, what do you think?
I agree that 13 points is way too many. Cincinnati's 3-1 against the spread. Burrows has 3 300-yard games in a row, which is a rookie record. But like I said, they need an offensive line. Baltimore had a nice comeback win against Washington after getting embarrassed by Kansas City.
Yes.
I'm definitely taking Cincy with the points, and Baltimore. I'm pulling for Joe Burrows, but Baltimore will cover.
Yeah, Baltimore.
Barely.
Sure,
Barely.
They're the favorite. They're supposed to win.
Barely.
Yeah, barely.
Yeah,
I think
barely.
it might be a 3-point game. It's going to be closer than people think based on the momentum. All right, that's the morning. Moving on to the afternoon. Danny Nickel and the New York Football Giants are headed to Dallas. Dallas' offense, their offense is good. They're, a lot of yards. I know Rocky have all the stats, but they have too many turnovers, 9 turnovers offensively, and they've allowed 36.5 points per game.
Yeah.
That's too many points for me to feel comfortable. I like the Cowboys. They either need to win by 2 touchdowns, or I'm off the boat this year. Rock, what do you think?
Well, here's the thing. There is no D in Dallas. Like Matt said,
just
36
Alex.
points a game, right? Dallas just they have all these yards. He passed for 505 yards last week. They still couldn't beat Cleveland. Turnovers again, and I don't know what you can do to fix that other than what the great coach Vince Lombardi used to do when you make a fumble. Vince Lombardi, you have to carry a football around the whole week under your arm.
Yeah.
But candidly,
That hasn't been stupid.
I think the Cowboys blow them out.
It's been some strip sacks.
That's a national game. That's a national game.
Interceptions
And the
and
Cowboys have a
interceptions.
lot of stuff to prove. Unfortunately, they get to prove it against the NFC least is the New York Giants at 0-4. Cowboys large.
Cowboys large. All right. Miami is headed west to San Francisco. I think Miami's going to keep it honest this game. I think San Francisco's been lucky thus far with how beat up they are. Their quarterbacks, they don't know who to play. Mullins, the other guy. I think Miami might even sneak out a bearded victory here. I'm taking Miami with the upset of the week. Rob. What do you think?
You know what, Bear? I got you there because Miami's lost to Seattle, and Baltimore, and New England. That makes them a pretty darn good team. Fitzmagic, let's rub that beard. Fitzmagic, I'm going to go with the upset with Miami also. Mozart probably not playing, 3 wide receivers not playing, and they don't even know who's playing quarterback. Yeah. So this one's
Too many question marks.
This one's got upset written all over it.
Yep, they're due.
My slammy.
My slammy, me slammy. Moving on to Indy. Indy's going to see Cleveland. Cleveland's 3-1 this season. This is the kind of season they were hoping to have last season. That didn't really work out. A team that's also having a great season is Indianapolis. Their defense is top-notch, ranked 1 in the NFL thus far against their teams they played with. But Rivers is getting the job done. I think with no Chubb, he's on the IR for a knee. I don't know if Hunt and the other guy can keep up. Without an honest run game, Cleveland's play action goes down, then Baker goes down. I think Indy's going to win this game. 1.5 points is not enough. I think it's going to be at least a touchdown, Rock. What do you think?
Not so fast, my friend. Indy's beaten Jacksonville, Minnesota, and Chicago. Now, Chicago is probably, of those 3 teams, the best team. Like I said, Pagano, Newt, Foles. I think Hunt is probable. Beckham, no, he's doubtful. Beckham is probable. Chubb is out. I think that Indy is actually going to lose this game. For some reason, Cleveland's 3-1. Mayfield's coming into his own. He's got wheels. Foles had no wheels. Who else did they play with no wheels? Kirk Cousins and Jax. Mishew's got wheels, but I'm going to go with another upset there with Cleveland winning outright.
All right, so we're different on that game. The last afternoon game is Denver going to see New England. Who's playing quarterback for New England? We don't know. Cam's positive as of Thursday's reports. Their defense doesn't look like they're top-notch. They're actually kind of middle of the pack this season. Their run game is looking good. They're second in the NFL in rushing yards and rush per carry. I think Rippon is coming into a rhythm, so I like Denver to go ahead and sneak a victory out at Foxborough. If not, at least cover the 10 points. That's what it says online, Rock. What do you think?
New England has lost to KC and Seattle. I don't know who's playing quarterback either, but they're going to cover the 11 and blow out Denver.
Okay, we'll see. I don't know.
Getting close.
Alrighty, we have the last 2 games. We have Minnesota going to see Seattle. Minnesota doesn't have the answers for Seattle. Russell Wilson's looking like an MVP, Rock. What do you think?
Green Bay lost to, Minnesota lost to Green Bay, Indy, and Tennessee. Seattle is hanging in there. Kirk Cousins should give the money back. I'm taking Seattle to cover the 7.
All right, last seconds. I got New Orleans to take the game against the Chargers. The rookies look like a stud, though.